Hi, this is Lisa from Tilly Mint Creates. Thank you for joining me on my channel today. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to create a candy cane embellishment. This can be used either as a border for your final piece of work or as an embellishment to work on top of your work. In today's tutorial, I will be showing you how to create a candy cane feature on a piece of work. This is particularly useful if you are wishing to make a cushion or a blanket and edge it in a slightly different manner. All you will need to do is use a UK double crochet around the perimeter of that piece of work to be able to then apply the candy cane method. For the purpose of this video today, I will be using a sampler piece of work and I will be surface mounting the candy cane just to give this piece of work a little bit of decorative feature to it. This particular sample is the Royal Ridge stitch, which gives a nice raised edge for me to be able to work to. I will link that into the comments below this video should you wish to use a Royal Ridge stitch. In addition to that, I'm going to use a 4.5mm crochet hook. I'm also going to use two corresponding yarns that will stand out nice and neatly on this particular sampler. For that, I will be using a Paintbox Simply Aran in colourways Paper White and Pillar Red. And I will also need two locking stitch markers and a small pair of scissors. To start your candy cane, all we'll need to do is take your first coloured yarn, either one, it doesn't matter which one you choose first. You will fold it over and then into your first stitch you will place your crochet hook and just thread through that piece of work and just tie that off into a knot. You will then place your crochet hook into that same stitch and just yarn over and pull through, and from there you will then yarn over and you will create a chain of 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. From here you will now pull slightly on your loop. You will take your first locking stitch marker and you will place that through your loop and fasten and just tighten your loop. You're now going to take your second piece of yarn. This time I will be using the Paper White, and again what I will do is just on the edge of the piece of work I will stab through with my hook, pull that yarn through and I will fasten that into position. I will then again just place my hook into there, yarn over, pull through and I will chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like before, I will pull that out and I will get a second locking stitch marker. I will place that into my loop that I've just taken off my hook, lock it shut, pull it a little bit tight, and then what you've got is you have got 2 pieces of work that are chains. Does that make sense? So from here now what I'm going to do is I am going to take my white yarn, which is the one furthest on the right hand side. I will take that hook off, that stitch marker off. I will place my hook in, and then what I'm going to do is if I move my red out of the way I will go into my next stitch along and I will simply, very simply, just place my hook into that and I will yarn over, pull through that loop to create a slip stitch. I will then chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, pull my yarn, stitch marker back on and hook out. Just pull that a little bit tight, move it out the way. Now with my red one I will just pull on that yarn a little bit. I'll put my crochet hook in, take the stitch marker out, pull that tight onto my crochet hook. I will then move along to the next stitch here, right next to this white one, and again I will slip stitch that in. I will chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, stretch it out, stitch marker in, pull it slightly tighter, move it out of the way. Go back to my white, ignore these tails by the way, go back to your white, pop your crochet hook in, now take your stitch marker off, pull it tight on your hook, bring it over your red yarn and slip stitch into your next stitch. Just like before, we will chain 4, 3, 4, now if you've continued to create that candy cane going across, just ensure that you always bring your previous colour over the top of your colour, chain 4, slip stitch into your next stitch. You can't really go wrong with this one. Once you get to the end of your project, if you just slip stitch those into the edges and finish it off, then that way you will have some tails that you'll need to weave in. Unfortunately, the pattern isn't designed nicely enough to be able to not have any ends to sew in, unfortunately, but depending on how you design this pattern now moving forward will depend on how many ends you have to tie in. Now going back to the publication of where this was, this is issue number 87 of Crochet Now magazine, and as you can see I've used that candy cane on my hot water bottle. I found the neatest possible approach to that hot water bottle was to miss 2 rows of ridges from the ridge stitch and then start a new one. It just looked much neater and less cluttered. However, if you didn't want to use that approach, what you could do is you could do the candy cane around the edging when you join the hot water bottle together. Or if you don't have the hot water bottle pattern at all and you'd just like to maybe make a cushion out of the ridge stitch, you could do, and again you could create that cushion with ridges going across with your candy cane very much like this, or you could edge the actual entire outside of your cushion in the candy cane. It is exactly the same principle whether you choose to do it across the surface of a ridge stitch or whether you choose to do a double crochet around an edge and then add your candy cane to that double crochet. If you've liked this tutorial and have found it fun to do, then please do give it a thumbs up, a like. Any comments would be greatly received. Obviously these are my colour preferences. You may have a different colour preference. I would love to see those. Please do share them in your comments or tag me on social media. I am available on www.instagram.com/TillyMintCreates. Tag me over there with all of your makes. I would love to see them. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, then please do not hesitate to click the subscribe button and you will get a notification every time I upload another tutorial. Until the next time, thanks a lot. Bye.